Hey Fiona, good to see you again. How's your day been so far?
Hi, Vincent. Pretty good. Thanks for asking. I actually grabbed a quick coffee before we started recording, so I'm feeling awake and ready to go. How about you?
Not bad at all. I had a bit of a hectic morning though. You know when you hit snooze one too many times and suddenly you're rushing around like crazy? That was me today.
Oh, I know that feeling. It's the classic, I'll just sleep for 5 more minutes trap, and then boom, you're running late. Did you at least have breakfast?
Barely. I just threw together some toast. Nothing fancy, but hey, it did the job. Honestly, I think I need to get better at preparing things the night before.
Yeah, that's the trick. If you plan ahead, mornings feel a lot smoother. I've been trying to lay out my clothes, pack my bag, and even set up my coffee machine the night before. It makes a big difference.
That's smart. Maybe I should try that. But let's be real. I'll probably keep rolling the dice with the snooze button.
Well, at least you're honest. But hey, I'm glad you made it here on time for the recording.
Same here. I always look forward to these conversations. They feel kind of like catching up with an old friend.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes it fun for our listeners, too. They get to join in on a real conversation, not something too stiff or scripted.
Totally. And speaking of listeners, I want to take a second to say thanks to everyone tuning in today. Whether you're listening while commuting, cooking, or maybe just relaxing at home, we're happy you're here with us.
Yes, thank you. We really appreciate it. And we hope that these little chats not only help improve your English, but also give you a window into everyday life here.
That's right, because sometimes the best way to learn a language isn't just through grammar books or drills. It's by hearing how people actually talk to each other.
Couldn't agree more. So, Vincent, before we dive into today's episode, I've got to ask, if you could eat at only one type of restaurant for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, that's tough. I'd probably say Italian food. Pasta, pizza, risotto. I could live off that forever. What about you?
I'd go with Japanese food. Sushi, ramen, miso soup. I never get tired of it. Plus, it feels a little healthier.
That's a solid choice. That question kind of hints at what we're going to be talking about today.
True. I think our listeners are going to enjoy this one.
Before we dive straight into today's topic, let me take a quick moment to introduce our channel for those who might be new here. You're listening to the American English Podcast. This is the place where learning English goes beyond memorizing grammar rules or repeating phrases from a textbook. Here, we focus on helping you live the language. That means learning through culture, real conversations, and everyday examples that you'll actually hear and use.
Exactly. We believe that when you study English, you're not just studying words, you're exploring an entire way of life. The United States is full of unique traditions, expressions, and quirks, and when you understand them, you start to see how the language really works in context. And that's what we want to share with you.
And Fiona, something I love about this podcast is that it feels accessible no matter where you're at in your English journey. Maybe you're just building confidence, or maybe you've been studying for years and want to sound more natural. Either way, our conversations are designed to meet you at that level and push you a little further.
Right. We try to keep the pace natural, not too slow, not too fast, so you can practice listening as if you're eavesdropping on a real American conversation. We also sprinkle in some idioms and phrasal verbs because, let's face it, those pop up all the time in real life. And if you can use them naturally, you'll sound a lot more fluent.
Definitely. Plus, we're not afraid to make mistakes or laugh at ourselves along the way, because that's how real conversations work, right? Sometimes you stumble, sometimes you forget a word, but the key is to keep going. That's a valuable lesson for anyone learning English.
And that brings me to the series we're in right now, American English Conversations. This series is all about practicing dialogues that you might actually have in daily life, from talking about your daily routine to ordering food or even chatting at the office. We want to give you examples that feel authentic.
The goal here isn't just to teach you perfect sentences, but to show you the flow of conversation, the little pauses, the small talk, the natural transitions that make English feel alive.
Exactly. Think of this series as your chance to sit at the table with two friends who are just talking, and you get to listen in. Over time, you'll notice that your ear gets sharper and you'll start recognizing patterns, phrases, and rhythms that you can bring into your own speaking.
And hey, if you're listening right now, we'd love for you to interact with us. Drop a comment, share your own experiences, or even practice shadowing with these episodes. The more actively you engage, the faster you'll improve.
Well said. So, whether you're here to sharpen your listening, pick up new vocabulary, or just enjoy some cultural insights, you're in the right place.
All right, I think that sets the stage perfectly. Fiona, should we let our listeners in on today's topic?
Let's do it. So, Vincent, today's topic is something that everyone can relate to: ordering food.
That's right. Ordering food is one of those everyday situations where English really comes alive. Think about it. Whether you're traveling in the US, grabbing lunch with friends, or even ordering takeout at home, you need to know how to do it smoothly and confidently.
And honestly, it's not just about the words you use. It's also about sounding natural, polite, and sometimes even a little friendly. You know how in America we often say things like, could I get instead of give me? Those little details make a big difference.
Exactly. If you walk into a restaurant and say, give me a coffee, you'll get your coffee, sure, but it can sound a bit rude or demanding. On the other hand, could I get a coffee, please, comes across as polite and respectful.
And that's what we want to explore in this episode: the language, the tone, and even some cultural habits that go along with ordering food in the US. Because sometimes the way Americans order can feel a little different compared to other countries.
For example, here in the US, servers often ask questions like, how would you like that cooked? Or what kind of dressing would you like? And if you're not prepared, you might freeze up. I remember when I first traveled abroad, I was caught off guard by how many follow-up questions the waiter asked.
Oh, yes, that happens a lot. And sometimes the menu itself can be overwhelming. So many choices. That's another part of American food culture. We like options. You don't just order a burger. You have to choose the size, the toppings, the side dish, and even how the meat is cooked.
It's true. And if you don't know the vocabulary, it can feel like you're under pressure. That's why practicing these conversations ahead of time is so helpful. It prepares you for those real-life moments when you're hungry, standing in line, and suddenly the cashier is asking, for here or to go?
Yes, and you don't want to be that person holding up the line because you don't understand the question.
Exactly. So today we're going to walk you through what it sounds like to order food in English. We'll cover a polite ways to ask, useful phrases you can use in different situations, and even some cultural tips to make the experience smoother.
By the end of this episode, you should feel more confident the next time you step into a cafe, restaurant, or even when you order delivery on the phone.
And who knows, you might even impress your server with how natural you sound.
So grab a snack or maybe even a coffee and get ready. Let's jump right into today's conversation about ordering food.
You know, Fiona, I really believe ordering food in the US is a skill. It's not just about knowing the menu, it's about how you say things, how confident you sound, and even your body language.
That's so true. And honestly, people do notice. The way you order says a lot about you. If you come across as polite and clear, the server will probably treat you more warmly. But if you sound stiff or too blunt, it can feel a little off.
Yeah, I've seen it. Like in a busy coffee shop, if someone steps up to the counter and says, give me a coffee, it feels abrupt. But if they say, hi, could I get a coffee, please? It sounds friendly and respectful. Same coffee, totally different vibe.
Exactly. And it's funny because Americans order food constantly. Coffee shops, drive-throughs, diners, it happens multiple times a week for most people. So for English learners, this isn't just practice. This is the kind of English they'll use all the time.
What usually trips people up are those follow-up questions. You know the classic ones, for here or to go. Or, would you like fries with that? If you're not ready, it feels like a pop quiz.
Oh, yes. And especially at places like Subway or Chipotle, where you have to make a ton of quick decisions. Bread, meat, cheese, toppings, sauces. For someone new to the culture, it can feel overwhelming.
I remember one of my friends visiting from France. He said he just wanted a simple sandwich, but suddenly he had 10 questions fired at him. He froze up and just said yes, yes, yes to everything. His sandwich ended up huge and packed with things he didn't even like.
I can picture that. But here's the cool part. In American food culture, customizing your order is totally normal. It's not seen as picky, it's expected. People will ask for no onions, extra cheese, dressing on the side, and the server won't even blink.
Right. So instead of stressing, you can embrace it. Think of it as practicing choices in English. And if you need a moment, you can buy time with phrases like, let me think for a second, or even ask, what do you recommend? That way, you're still part of the conversation.
And honestly, servers appreciate it when you say something, even if it's small. It's way better than standing silently at the counter while the line builds behind you.
At the end of the day, ordering food in the U.S. isn't about perfect grammar. It's about being polite, clear, and a little flexible.
Exactly. And to make this more concrete, how about we role play a real restaurant situation so listeners can hear how it flows in action?
Great idea. Let's do it.
All right, let's set the scene. Imagine we're at a casual American restaurant. I'll be the server and you be the customer.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Hi there, welcome. Just one today?
Yeah, just me.
Great, right this way. Here's your menu. Can I start you off with something to drink?
Sure. Could I get a glass of water and maybe a lemonade?
Of course. I'll bring those right out. Take your time with the menu. So far, nothing too complicated. Notice how Vincent said, could I get, instead of give me. It's softer, more polite, and that's the standard way most Americans order.
Exactly. Okay, let's continue.
Here are your drinks. Are you ready to order, or do you need a few more minutes?
I think I'm ready. Could I get the cheeseburger with fries, please?
Sure thing. How would you like your burger cooked? Medium, medium well?
Medium, please.
And what kind of cheese would you like? We have cheddar, Swiss, and American.
Cheddar sounds good.
Perfect. And would you like to add bacon for $2 more?
Not today, thanks.
All right, so that's one cheeseburger, medium, with fries and cheddar cheese. Anything else for you?
No, that's it for now. Thank you.
Did you catch that? There were a couple of follow-up questions. How he wanted the burger cooked, which cheese, and even an upsell with bacon. That's really common in American restaurants.
And the key is to be ready with short, polite responses. You don't need to make a speech. Just medium, please, or cheddar sounds good. Quick, clear, and the server keeps things moving.
Another cultural note, servers in the U.S. usually check on you after your food comes. They'll ask, how's everything tasting? Or can I get you anything else? It's part of customer service.
And that can be a little surprising if you're not used to it. The first time it happened to me, I thought, wait, why is she interrupting my meal? But here, it's normal. Just smile and say something like, everything's great, thank you. Or if you actually need something, like more water, that's the perfect moment to ask.
Exactly. So the big takeaway here is don't be nervous. Ordering food in America is a routine thing. And the more you practice these short, polite phrases, the more natural you'll feel.
And the best part, every meal becomes a mini English lesson.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, Fiona, how about we switch things up? Instead of a sit-down restaurant, let's try a coffee shop. The pace is faster, the line moves quickly, and you usually don't have time to think too much.
Perfect. I'll play the barista this time and you be the customer again. Ready?
Let's do it.
Hi there. What can I get started for you today?
Hi, could I get a medium latte with oat milk, please?
Sure thing. Would you like that hot or iced?
Hot, please.
Great. And do you want any flavor syrup in that, like vanilla or caramel?
Vanilla sounds good.
Perfect. So one medium hot oat milk latte with vanilla. Anything to eat?
Yeah, could I also get a blueberry muffin?
Absolutely. For here or to go?
To go, please.
Got it. Your total is $6.75.
See? That was quick, clear, and polite. Notice how the barista threw in a couple of extra questions. Hot or iced? Do you want flavor syrup? And for here or to go? These are super common in American coffee shops.
Yes. And if you're not ready, those questions can make you freeze. That's why practicing these phrases is so helpful. Even something as simple as knowing the difference between for here and to go can save you from an awkward moment.
Another thing is sizes. In some places, you'll see small, medium, large. But in others, like Starbucks, it's tall, grande, venti, and that can be confusing at first.
Oh, totally. I remember when I first went to Starbucks as a teenager. I said, I'll have a small coffee. And the barista corrected me. You mean tall? I was like, wait, tall means small? That makes no sense.
Exactly. But after a while, you get used to it. And honestly, no one's going to judge you if you say small or medium.
Another tip, if the line is long, it helps to glance at the menu before you get to the counter. That way you don't hold things up. Americans usually like things to move fast, especially during the morning rush.
Right. But if you're not sure, you can always say, I'm still deciding. Can you help me choose? Baristas are usually happy to recommend something.
Exactly. And remember, it's totally fine to personalize your order. Extra hot, less sugar, no foam, whatever. That's part of the culture here.
So whether it's a fancy latte or just a regular black coffee, the formula is the same. Greet the barista, say what you want clearly, and answer their follow-up questions politely.
And if you mess up, don't worry. Just smile and laugh it off. People are usually kind and understanding.
Yeah, and every little interaction like this helps build your confidence.
Exactly. So next time you're in line at a coffee shop, try one of these phrases and see how it feels.
All right, Fiona, we've done the sit-down restaurant and the coffee shop. How about delivery or takeout over the phone? That's another really common situation.
Great idea. And honestly, this one can be a little more stressful because you don't see the person, you only hear their voice. That means you need to be extra clear.
Exactly. Okay, let's role play. I'll be the customer this time, and you can be the person answering the phone at a pizza place.
Thanks for calling Tony's Pizza. How can I help you today?
Hi, I'd like to place an order for delivery, please.
Sure thing. Can I have your phone number and address?
Of course. My number is 555-123-4567, and the address is 120 Maple Street, apartment 5B.
Got it. What can I get for you?
Could I have a large pepperoni pizza and a Caesar salad?
All right, one large pepperoni and one Caesar. Would you like any drinks with that?
Yes, a bottle of sparkling water, please.
Perfect. Your total comes to $22.50. It should arrive in about 30 minutes.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great evening. So that's a pretty typical delivery call. Notice how Vincent started with, I'd like to place an order for delivery. That immediately gives the staff the right context.
Right, and I made sure to give my phone number and address clearly. That's super important. If they don't get it right, your food might not arrive.
Yes, and that's the last thing you want when you're hangry. Another tip, Speak slowly, especially with numbers or street names. Sometimes the person taking your order is typing it down, so giving them a moment helps avoid mistakes.
And don't forget the little phrases that make the call smoother. Words like please and thank you really go a long way, even if the call is quick.
Definitely. And here's something interesting. If you're ordering takeout to pick up yourself, the process is almost the same. The only difference is instead of saying for delivery, you'd say, I'd like to place an order for pickup.
Exactly. And then when you arrive at the restaurant, you can just say, hi, I placed an order under the name of Vincent. Super easy.
The nice thing is, once you've practiced these short phrases, you don't have to worry about fumbling on the phone. It becomes automatic.
And that's the goal. Ordering food in English shouldn't feel like a test. It should just feel like part of everyday life.
Well said. Wow, we covered a lot today. We went from ordering at a sit-down restaurant to grabbing a coffee and finally to making a delivery order over the phone. That's basically the full spectrum of everyday food situations in the US.
Yeah, and the key takeaway is that ordering food isn't just about saying the right words. It's about being polite, clear, and ready for follow-up questions. Remember those little details. Could I get instead of give me? Adding please and thank you, and speaking at a steady pace.
And don't forget that American food culture is very customizable. Servers and cashiers expect you to make choices. Want no onions, extra cheese, dressing on the side? Totally normal. You don't have to feel embarrassed about asking.
Exactly. And plus, when you think of these interactions as mini English practice sessions, it becomes fun. Every time you order, you're not just getting food, you're training your ear, practicing your pronunciation, and building confidence.
That's so true. And it's okay if you make mistakes. Maybe you freeze up for a second, or maybe the server asks something you don't understand. Just smile, ask them to repeat, or say, sorry, could you say that again? People are usually very patient, especially if you're polite.
Yeah, nobody's expecting perfection. What really matters is communication. If the message gets across, you've succeeded. And the more you practice, the smoother it'll get.
So, to recap, use polite phrases like, could I get? And please. Be prepared for common follow-up questions like, for here or to go? Or, how would you like that cooked? Customize your order if you want. It's totally fine. And finally, enjoy the process. These little moments are part of everyday American life.
Well said. I think if our listeners take even one or two of these tips into their next food order, they'll feel way more comfortable.
Absolutely. And hey, if you're listening right now, why not try it out this week? Go order a coffee, grab a meal, or call in for delivery. Use some of the phrases we practiced today and see how it feels.
And if you do, let us know in the comments how it went. We'd love to hear your stories. Maybe you had a smooth order, or maybe something funny happened. Either way, sharing your experience helps you remember and practice even more.
And of course, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to the American English Podcast so you don't miss future conversations. We've got lots of practical topics coming your way.
Thanks again for joining us today. Until next time, happy eating and happy practicing.
Take care, everyone.